Jesus.
I love Norm. Norm is from my home country, Canada, and from my home club, Yuck Yucks. And I've worked with him many times. Norm had one of the funniest stories he ever told on The Tonight Show about his father. Do you know about his father and Bill Cosby?
No.
No, not his. He told this on The Tonight Show. He told a story. It's one of my favorite stories because it's real. Again, Bill Cosby was on SNL when, as a guest host, when Norm was there, and he tells a story about his dad got him into comedy. Norm Macdonald's dad would sit him down every time there was a comedian on The Tonight Show or wherever. He would sit him down and make him watch, and they would watch Cosby together. Cosby stand up, and they would laugh. That was his father and him bonding moment, and maybe the reason he got into comedy. So when Cosby was on the show, he went up and he said, "Mr. Cosby, you know, I just want to tell you that I think you're the reason I'm in comedy. You are my dad's favorite comedian, and he used to make me sit down in front of the TV and watch you, and that's what inspired me to go into comedy, but you're his favorite." And Cosby says to him, "Where are you from?" And he goes, "I'm from Ottawa, Canada." And Cosby says, "I'm playing Ottawa. I'm on tour. I'm going to be playing Ottawa in 2 weeks. Give me your dad's number. I'll call him, and I'll bring him to the show." And Norm goes, "That's amazing." He goes, "What's his number?" And he wrote down his number, and then he walked away and he started sweating. And one of his friends said to him, "What's wrong, Norm?" He goes, "Well, I told him that story. And then once he said, I'm going to call him, I was too uncomfortable to tell him my father died 5 years ago." So I just wrote down a bullshit number, and that's it. And they go, "How could you do that, Norm?" 2 weeks goes by. Norm is sitting in his office. They get a call. They said, "Norm, Bill Cosby is on line 2. This is 2 weeks later, and he picks up the phone and he goes, "Yeah," he goes, "Listen, I'm in Ottawa and your dad's not answering. They said that this number is disconnected that you gave me. What is his number?" And I can't remember for the life of me the end of the story, but Norm was stuck on the phone and he didn't want to say, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that he's dead." Like, at what point do you kind of break this to Bill Cosby? It was one of the funniest, real, uncomfortable, and that kind of comedy is the kind of comedy that when people are uncomfortable. And when Norm Macdonald told that real life story, it's really funny, but oh my God, his father's dead. He's in a, it's
How
like,
do you get out of that? Yeah.
Yeah, there was no way.
Was there an ending?
I can't remember the ending, and I wasn't prepared for this story, and I remember I hear it a lot. I'm just kind of bowled over by the loss of somebody younger than me.
You know, I had maybe the greatest Bill Cosby story ever.
Really?
And now it's not in the top 10,000. Because I'll tell people the story.
Right.
And I'll constantly be interrupted by, and then did he rape you? I'm like, "He didn't ever rape me. It had nothing to do with the story."
One of the nicest, most genuine, authentic people. I've been watching over and over again. One of my favorite moments of his is in 1998. In January 7th, if you look it up, January 7th, 1998, he did the Letterman show. That is the day that he got fired from Weekend Update.
Right.
And he wouldn't say anything negative. Letterman did many, many times to him in his face. But he first of all, he was fired. He still showed up and did this appearance. You know, if you got fired off your main event, I doubt you would want to
promote it
and be out in public.
Right.
And that's all they talked about. And he would not say, Letterman was going, "What kind of idiot would fire you?" "No, he's a very nice man. He was a nice man. He just didn't like he would not besmirch the guy that made
class act.
The most classy.
Don Ohlmeyer.
Yeah.
And it occurred to me, and I was talking to my buddies on a text chain the other day, a bunch of comics, and I said, this wasn't Norm's time. He didn't want to live in a world of Don Ohlmeyers. Everyone trying to cancel everybody.
Right.
It was interesting that he's gone now.
So you went on there and told that story, and then Dave was kidding you about Don Ohlmeyer, et cetera, as I
Right.
recall.
Dave was much more upset about it than me. Because Dave wasn't under the influence of Xanax.
I wonder if he's doing it now. Up there. Up there. She's up there too.
My favorite of all of the hosts of these types of shows is
What's his name?
is the host of Deal or No Deal, Howie Mandel.
Howie, yeah.
He's the most
He's good.
amazing. Even though he's a comedian, he does it. And I'm going to tell you that you are in a moment.
Yeah, and he still gets us every week.
Every time.
Every week.